Stampers, I'm Nancy Novak from Stampin' Shout. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I hope you're enjoying my video series. It's all about the ink and tiled stamp set. Fun little stamp set, all botanical images and great little sentiments. So I hope you're enjoying it. And for those of you that don't know, my video series are where I make 5 cards. I use one Stampin' Up product all week, 5 cards, 5 videos, and I'm here every day at noon. So I hope you're enjoying it. If you are, leave me a little comment. And today is our 5th card. And if you've missed any of my prior videos, you can always go back and watch the replay. No problem with that, and I appreciate it. And make sure you leave comments. And I have a little giveaway if you leave comments. And I also have an August special for purchases. So thank you in advance for that. But today's card is a fun fold. It's very, very pretty. And we're going to do a little fun coloring on right on our stamps. So it's a cool technique, and it's really a great way to make the most of your stamp set. So let's get started. Let's make a card. Hi Stampers, it's Nancy from Stampin'shout.com. Welcome back. Well, today is day 5 of my inked and tiled video series. So stay to the end and we'll recap and we'll talk about all the cards that we made. Today, we're going to make this little beauty. So it opens like that. And what's fun about today is we are going to color our stamps so we can have the look that we want. So up to now, I have been stamping all one color, but today we're going to do a little coloring with our markers and get the color that we want. So I'm going to use Calypso Coral and Lost Lagoon markers, and I have Very Vanilla as my base, and Lost Lagoon are my matte pieces, and I have Very Vanilla for inside, a little bit of Calypso Coral, a little bit more Lost Lagoon, and this pretty designer series paper. And this pretty designer series paper is from Inked Botanicals. That's what it's called. It's 6x6 paper. It's 48 sheets. I'll give you a little peek. Beautiful double-sided. And the colors in this are Calypso Coral, Crushed Curry, Lost Lagoon, Petal Pink, and Pool Party. So when I design my card, I just look at the colors that are in the designer series paper, and that's how I get started. So let's take our base and we're going to score it. So let me bring in my scoreboard here. And we're going to score it at 2 1/8 and 4 1/4. Then we're going to fold it like we normally do. Give it a good crease with our bone folder. And then we're going to fold this part back. Just like that. So this is our inside, the Lost Lagoon and the Very Vanilla. And if you'll notice, I did do a cutout. And let me show you what I used for that. I used the Scalloped Contour dies, which is this gorgeous set. I use this a lot. And this is the largest one, 1, 2, 3. I used the third one down. And that's how I made this little piece right there. First thing we're going to do is a little stamping. So let's get all this out of the way. That's our inside. And here's our stamping piece for the front. And I'm using the long flower stamp. So this stamp set comes with the long flower, the little 2-flower set, the leaf and the great big flower and the little sploosh, and a bunch of sentiments that are really versatile for all occasions. So I am going to take my Lost Lagoon, and that's what I'm going to do the stems in. Again, the Lost Lagoon matches the designer series paper, the color that's in the designer series paper, and that's how I picked Lost Lagoon. And then the flower I'm going to do in Calypso Coral, and the markers have a skinny tip and a big tip, and I'm coloring it in with the big tip. Let me bring in my sample so you can see it. So I'm going to stamp on this piece right here. I also like to give it a little huff or breathe on it. That just kind of activates that ink and gets it nice and wet and ready to stamp. You don't have to do that if you stamp right away, but if you were to walk away and come back, you could huff on it and it would still work. Isn't that pretty? Isn't that cool? So easy, right? So those markers are wonderful. So since I have this out, I'm going to go ahead and stamp on the inside, and then we'll put our card together. So I'm going to bring that little 2-petal stamp in, and I'm going to do the same thing. So there's the inside of my card. So I'm just going to stamp right here in the bottom left corner. And that's gorgeous. Now, if I was going to do a sentiment in here, I would also go ahead and stamp that now. I'm going to leave it blank. So we got all our pieces back here, and now we're going to do a little bit of gluing. So I'm going to glue the inside piece to the mat. I'm going to glue the Pretty Designer Series to the strip of Lost Lagoon, and the stamping piece goes right on the pretty scalloped piece. Now I'm going to glue the front Pretty Designer Series paper there on the front flap, and then the inside to the inside. So you'll notice how everything lines up. So the front lines right up with the inside. I will have all the measurements on my blog, Stampin'shout.blogspot.com. I'll have all the supplies listed and shopping links. And if you do shop with me, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Let's keep going here. So now these two pieces I am going to banner cut. So I'm going to do that just by making a little cut right in the middle, and I'm going to make about a 3/8 inch cut. Now I'm going to cut from the corner right to the cut that I just did. So that made that little banner. Now I'm going to kind of bring this one in. This is just, we have fussed just a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and make my little 3/8 inch little snip there. Basically, you're going to do the same thing again, just cut from corner to corner, or corner to the center of your cut mark. And those two pieces are going to line up like that. Just like that. I'm going to actually fuss a little bit more when I lay this down, and I'm going to trim it just a little bit at the straight edge, and you'll see what I mean in just a minute. So the larger banner piece is going to go right to the edge of the Lost Lagoon piece, and it's going to go in the center from top to bottom. And then this piece I brought in so it lines up with the Designer Series paper. So it's a little bit too long, so I'm just going to trim it a little bit and see if it's the right length. And that's perfect. So now I'm going to go ahead and glue this Calypso Coral piece on, and I'm just going to put glue right on this area here, but I'm going to glue the back, and I'm going to put it right in the center, and then I'm going to do the same thing on the Pretty Designer Series paper. Just like that. So that wasn't too hard, just a little bit of fussing. Make sure I have it straight. So this piece here we're going to pop up on dimensional, so I'm going to go ahead and flip it over. I'm going to place it where I want it to be. Now when I flipped it over, I want to put dimensionals on this side. So I didn't flip it this way, I flipped it this way. So I am putting dimensionals right on the same side, right here. So I'm going to go like that just to give me a kind of a guideline. And this scallop is pretty even. There's like 4 scallops on each side and 1 in the center. So it's pretty easy to know where to stop. And the reason you want to be careful is because when you open up your card, you don't want your dimensionals showing. So I'm going to go ahead and put 4 dimensionals there and 1 in the middle. Bring in my little handy dandy tool here to get rid of the backing. And now we can put this down on our card right in the center. And then your card opens like that. So that wasn't too hard, and it's so pretty. I just love this card. I love the colors, that Pretty Designer Series paper, and it's a cute little layout. So again, we did that by inking up our rubber stamp with the Stampin' Write markers. So really easy, fun way to use the markers and to achieve the colors that you want. So let's go back and look at some of the cards that we made this week and talk about some of the different techniques that we used. So here was the first card, and we actually made this card. So we made it in a different color. We stamped right on the designer series paper, and we also texturized the designer series paper on this one. This one is plain, and this one is texturized. And you can really tell the difference in person, but both are beautiful. Then we made a Stamp-a-Stack of stationery cards. We used all of the images in this stamp set. We stamped along the side and the bottom, and we created stationery cards, which are always useful and also make a nice gift when you wrap them up with a ribbon. Then we made a fractured card. This was a fun little technique, new to everyone, I think. It's really popping up all over the place, and I was excited to make it and share it with you guys. I hope you liked it. And then we made our beautiful Ooh Ah Pretty card that's embossed with the white embossing powder. Then today we made our pretty little fun fold. So we made a lot of cards this week with the inked and tiled stamp set. I hope you got a lot of ideas. And again, information's on my blog. This is my host code if you shop with me, and I appreciate it so much. Thank you. And I have an August host code gift, so check that out. And remember, comments are entered to win that day's card. So go ahead and leave your comments, share with your friends so you can help me grow my YouTube channel. And I will be back at noon. Don't forget, Nancy at noon. Don't be shy. Stamp and shout.